Welcome to Shelf Life, the show where every week we put one food and beverage brand on the table and take its social media apart. The good, the bad, and the thing everybody's about to copy and shouldn't. I'm Giovanni Gallucci, and across the table this week, a new voice in the rotation, Alexis Parker. Alexis, welcome in.
Glad to be here, Gio. And I brought something that doesn't look like it belongs in the water aisle. Liquid Death. The tall boy that looks like a beer a heavy metal band would drink.
Perfect brand to hand me, because Liquid Death might be the most copied and least understood marketing story of the decade. Canned water, started in 2017, and last count it's valued at $1.4 billion. A soda that looks like a horror movie. We're going to grade it for real.
So not a beverage company that got lucky with a logo.
A beverage company that figured out it was actually an entertainment company and priced itself accordingly. Let's take it apart.
Start me where you always start. The hook. When Liquid Death shows up in my feed, why do I stop?
Because it refuses to look like what it is. Everything in the water category whispers. Blue labels, mountains, dewdrops, a soft voice telling you to hydrate. Liquid Death screams. A skull, a tall boy can. The words murder your thirst. Your brain sees a metal band or an energy drink or a prank, and the half second your brain spends being confused is the half second the scroll stops. Confusion is a hook. They built it right into the packaging.
So the can is doing the work before the caption even loads.
The can is the ad. But that's the shallow read, and the shallow read is exactly what everybody copies. The deeper thing is what their marketing chief calls the North Star. Win the feed. Every post has to be funny enough or strange enough that you'd send it to a friend. They don't chase likes, they chase shares. A like is a person nodding alone. A share is a person doing your marketing for you, for free, because you made them laugh.
I've seen the sketches, the fake ads, the horror bits, the celebrity ones. Almost none of it's really about water.
Almost none of it, and that's on purpose. Water is the last thing in the frame. The entertainment leads, the product tags along behind it. Most brands do that exactly backwards. They shoot the product, light it pretty, and then beg you to care. Liquid Death makes you laugh first and lets you notice the can on the way out the door.
So what's the grade on the hook?
It's an A, and it's not close. But here's the part people miss when they grade this brand. It's not the edge that makes it work. Anybody can be edgy for a week. It's that they picked one joke back in 2017, water is heavy metal, water is death, and they've never once broken character. Almost a decade of discipline dressed up as chaos. The discipline is the asset. The skull is just the costume it wears.
Second thing you grade. Format fit. Are they using the right formats for the platform?
They treat every platform like a channel on a network, not a billboard. On TikTok, it's fast, dumb in the good way, shot to look like somebody made it in their kitchen. On YouTube, they'll run a longer sketch or a mockumentary because that's where a bit can breathe. Short-form video outperforms their static posts everywhere, and they know it, so they barely bother with the pretty photo of a can on a table.
They bought a Super Bowl spot last year, right? That's about as far from TikTok as it gets.
And here's the tell that they actually get format. They didn't make a Super Bowl ad and shrink it down for social. They made social content and let it happen to also land on the Super Bowl. This year they're running it back, and the plan is a polished cut for Instagram and a rougher, shot on a phone version for TikTok, so it reads as organic. Same idea, two dialects. That's format fit. Speak the local language on every platform instead of shouting one accent everywhere and hoping it travels.
Is there a format they're leaving on the table?
A little. For a brand this funny, their owned long form is thinner than it should be. The stuff that turns a laugh into a relationship, the behind the scenes, the how we made the dumbest possible thing, that's a lane they could own, and mostly don't. Grade's an A-. They're native everywhere that matters. The minus is that comedy this good deserves a deeper archive than they're keeping.
Deeper archive meaning what exactly?
Meaning a sketch gets 1 million views, and then it's gone. The people who'd happily binge 20 of them in a row don't have an easy place to go do it. That's reach you already paid for, sitting on the floor. Build the shelf, and the back catalog keeps earning while you sleep.
Category 3, cadence. How's the rhythm?
Heavy and steady, and it doesn't sag. They post like a comedy studio on a deadline, not a brand waiting on legal to approve a caption. And the volume matters more here than in most categories, because comedy is a numbers game. Not every joke lands. If you only swing 4 times a month, one miss ruins the month. If you swing constantly, the misses disappear, and the hits are what define you.
So volume is actually a safety net, not just noise.
Volume is how you earn the right to miss. But there's a discipline running underneath it. And this is the part the copycats skip. Every one of those posts still has to pass the same test. Is it funny? Is it shareable? Would you actually send it to somebody? They post a lot, but they don't post filler. There's no happy first day of summer graphic buried in there taking up a slot.
What's the tell that a brand's just filling slots?
When you can guess the post before you see it. Holiday graphic, product on a counter, 3 hashtags, a smiling stock photo. If your own audience could write your next post for you, the calendar's running the brand instead of the brand running the calendar. Liquid death you can't predict, and unpredictable is the whole point of the thing.
Grade?
B+. High volume, no filler, real discipline. It's not an A only because a machine that has to be funny every single day is one tired quarter away from forcing it, and forced comedy is worse than no comedy at all. They're not there yet. But that's the risk this cadence carries, and they should watch for it.
Fourth, community. How do they turn an audience into a fan base?
This is my favorite thing they do, and it's the thing almost nobody copies because it takes nerve. They've got a loyalty program called the Country Club, and the only way to join it, the only way, is to sell them your soul. There's a real contract drafted by a real lawyer that signs over your eternal soul, and you sign it like a DocuSign. Last count, more than 200,000 people have legally sold their soul to get in.
200,000 people signed a contract for a water club.
And think about what that actually is. Most loyalty programs are a points dashboard nobody ever screenshots, boring by design. Liquid Death turned the act of signing up into a piece of content. You sell your soul, you screenshot it, you post it, you tag 3 friends and dare them to do it too. The onboarding is the marketing. The membership card is a joke you want to tell at a party.
So the community isn't a rewards tier. It's an inside joke people opt into.
That's exactly the difference, and it's the lesson worth writing down. A fan base isn't people who like your product, it's people who've adopted a piece of your identity as their own. When somebody sells their soul to a water brand, they're not buying water anymore, they're in on the joke. And being in on the joke is stickier than any discount you could ever offer them.
Grade on community?
A. And here's the part I'd underline for anybody listening who runs a brand. They didn't build a community by asking people to join a community. Nobody on earth wants to join your community. They built something so dumb and so shareable that joining it made you funnier to your own friends. Give people a reason to look clever, not a reason to feel loyal. That's the whole mechanic, and it's cheaper than any point system you could buy.
Last one, the retail to social loop. This is the grocery show, so close it out. How does the online stuff drive the shelf?
It's a clean loop, and the can is what closes it. They're in something like 130,000 stores now. Whole Foods, Target, Walmart, 7-Eleven, plus Live Nation concert venues, which, for a brand built on a metal aesthetic, is the most on-brand shelf in America. Now walk the water aisle with me. Everything's blue and soft and identical, and then there's this black tall boy with a skull on it. The same thing that stops your scroll stops your cart.
So the feed and the shelf are running the exact same hook.
Same hook, 2 places, and that's rarer than it sounds. Most brands have a social identity and a shelf identity, and the two don't match. The Instagram is bright and fun, and the package is a tired blue label from 2011. Liquid Death shot one arrow. The can that makes you laugh online is the can you can spot from across the store, and once you've laughed at 40 of their videos, buying it in person feels a little like meeting a celebrity. You film that, right back into the feed it goes.
And that loop is basically free once it's spinning.
It's the cheapest growth there is. The customer shoots the content, the weird can stars in it, the video sends the next person to the shelf. The brand just has to keep being funny enough to keep the flywheel turning. Grades an A-. The only reason it's not a flat A is the loop still leans on how strange the can looks, and novelty's got a clock on it. The day the skull stops being surprising, the community and the comedy have to carry the shelf. Right now they've got both, so it holds.
So bring it home. The one thing they should fix first, and the mistake everybody copying them is about to make.
Fix first. They're pushing into new categories, energy drinks now, and they're testing TikTok Shop and affiliate this year. The danger is the second the feed turns into a storefront, the comedy dies. So the fix is a rule, not a tactic. Protect the North Star. Every commerce post still has to win the feed first and sell second, or it stops being liquid death and starts being an infomercial with a skull on it.
And the mistake the copycats are making?
They think the lesson is, be edgy. So now there's 1,000 brands online being rude and calling it a strategy, and it reads like your accountant showing up to work in a leather jacket. The edge was never the engine. The engine was one clear character, held for years, run by people who actually understand that comedy is a craft, not a volume knob you crank up to shocking. Copy the discipline, not the skull. If you take one thing off this table today, take that.
That's the episode. Giovanni, thanks for taking it apart.
Thanks for bringing a good one, Alexis. That's Shelf Life. One brand, one table, every week. We'll see you next Monday.